episode 5 of the pony series, and we're gonna do some color on the legs and get a little bit of detail on the legs, which I really enjoy this part. I hope you do too. And in your kit is a little bag, and it has a bunch of different grays in it. So you'll need that, and we will just zoom in and get started. You have anything you want to say before we zoom in?
I was thinking you look pretty today.
Oh, thank you.
Not as good as me, but very nice.
It's hard to stand next to you sometimes.
I know.
It's, you know.
I feel kind of bad for you for that, but you look fabulous today.
Well, thank you. I've got to be pretty confident to hang out with you, and some days are better than others.
It's a tough gig.
All right, let's get started. Alrighty then, we've got a pony. Starting to look like a pony.
Hello.
And we have 3 shades of fuzzy gray and 1 of a longer, kind of more thin, long fiber gray. So to start, I want to build a hawk and the pasterns, all of which I'm going to do with this medium fuzzy gray. All right.
Ponies like to be pet on the nose, right?
Yes. Do you like to be pet on the nose? Where do you like to be pet?
I like to be pet anywhere.
Okay. So first thing we're going to do is build the hawk joint up. So I need 2 thin pieces. I'm going to pull about really a 2.5 inch piece, and I'm going to split it in half lengthwise, and I'm just going to kind of draft them out a little bit so I have 2 nice long thin pieces. Now I exaggerate the hawk bend almost to 90 to do this technique because it just makes it easier. And we've done this on pretty much everything we've done so far. The goats and the foxes and the mice. So you should have an idea of what I'm talking about here. So I start at the upper leg, and I'm going to go around, and then I'm going to crisscross here in the middle of the angle, on the interior of the angle, and wrap here, and then here, and then here, and then here. And I'm never going to wrap right over the point of the angle. And what that does is it builds up a triangle. I'm going to, I went around the upper leg just to get it anchored there. So now I'm going to go straight to the lower part of the leg, back to the upper leg. I'm drafting it out so it keeps the wool manageable, and then down to the lower leg. And then I'm going to kind of pull off whatever I can and just let this fringe taper down the leg a little bit. Just finish it out there. And then stab it with a single needle since you're so close to the wire. And that gives you a little hawk. Let me do the other one. We're going to do the same thing for the pasterns down by the hoof. Not quite so much wool. So I always do the left one better for some reason. It's always a sharper, more distinct.
That's because you're a southpaw.
I guess so. It definitely has taken me a lot of practice to get my sculptures more symmetrical, because it's very easy to work on one side and not as easy to work on the other side. Okay, so for the pasterns, which are little joint down here by the ankle, actually maybe we can we're going to do that with the long skinny gray. Let's do a knee too. Let's do the knee first. So we'll build the knee just with the same wool that we did the hocks. About the same amount. Could be a little less. a little less, about a 2-inch piece that I've split in half that I'm pulling out. Google images dapple gray and you'll see how they get, you know, their legs get darker towards the bottom. Now on the knee, this is a pretty straight, the bones above and below the knee sort of stay in line with each other, but we do want to kind of create a little bump. So I just take some of my gray and I concentrate it in a figure 8 right here where I want the joint to be. Just crisscross here, and you'll start to see a little bump form. Really make sure you don't have too much wool or it'll get out of control quickly. And then, so I really ended up using only about half of the piece I pulled. So if it helps you, start with less. Start with half of that, and then if you need to, add more. I know where I need to pull it off, so you know, it might be harder for you to judge exactly. I'm actually just going to use this other half for this knee. And this is the other thing I do, is I get my 2 legs uneven. I'm pulling this pretty tight. If you've got too much, just pull it off. I'm using a coarse single needle to get this little tight detailed work well secured.
What do you mean by coarse?
Coarse needles pull more fiber when you stab, so
Which, like...
number?
Yes.
They get coarser as the numbers get lower. So this is a 36.
Gotcha.
Okay. Okay, we have knees and hocks. So at the bottom of the leg, you could either use this darker gray. I'm going to use this. This is called almond. It's a silvery gray. And it's nice and long, which makes it really nice for wrapping these kind of skinny little joints. So I'm going to take a piece and starting just, this is about 3 or 4 inches long. Starting just below the knee. I really want to keep this skinny because I really want this lower leg to stay skinny. Oh boy, we got to get your flea meds, Milo.
Please? What are you talking about?
It's making you itchy. Is that making you itchy?
Yeah, probably, but I don't know about fleas.
Oh.
That makes me sound
grubby.
a little.
Okay. So I kept it real tight, real skinny, and now down here I'm going to do that figure 8 method again, where I go around the top bone and then skip down here and then around the top bone. This wool, because it's long, is harder to pull off when you have too much, so the sooner you can figure that out, the better.
So, what does a horse put on their sandwich?
I don't know what.
Mayonnaise.
I almost didn't get that. It took me a second.
Nays. Mayonnaise. Jokes aren't as funny when you have to explain them.
I know. I did get it though. Okay. You're going to do the same thing to the rest of your legs. So we've got some good color on our legs. It's mostly gray right now, but what I want to do, it's just gray, is do the pelt, and then once we have the pelt on, see where they blend, and if you want to make it a little darker at the bottom or a little darker on the front of the knees. But let's do the pelt, and then you can add a little more color. The trick with the legs is just keeping them skinny and not building up too much wool. So the pelt for the dapple gray is basically white, and then we actually do the dapples instead of doing them into the pelt, which I guess you could. I usually just do them on the butt and shoulder. The bay pony doesn't have a pelt because the bay core wool is just, we couldn't really make a better color than it is. So, and then the chestnut pony has a top coat pelt color. The buckskin pony has the this sandstone pelt color, and the white pony will also get a white pelt, and then he gets you could put black or brown dapples. So, and then on the legs of the other ponies, the white and chestnut ponies both really don't get much of a change in their legs. I should have said that before I was doing all this. And then the bay and the buckskin both get, as along with the dapple gray, they have colors to make them darker as they go down. But there's no wrong or right. It's just what we generally think of as those colors and what we included in the kit. But of course you can do anything that you want. So to make the pelt, it's got to be the distance from the withers to the end, the base of the tail, and then you want it to be, so that'll be from here to here, and then you want it to be wide enough that it's going to come around the belly and just, over the shoulder and just start to go down the legs. So really, it's got to be a good, probably 6 inches wide. So I'm going to start with a piece of core wool that wide. Core wool just gives you a really nice base to felt into. And you might need more than one piece. And if you do use more than one piece, thin them out and layer them so that they blend nicely. You don't have a big bald spot in the middle. And then I'm going to put a little bit of this heather just on these edges. So just pull little bits and just put a little bit on the edges. I just want it to get a little darker as it goes around the pony's belly. It's really small amounts. So I just got that a little, see I still have a lot. The heather on the edges, and then in your pack you have this pretty bright white. So if you kind of take it and pull it, you'll get a nice fringed edge, and if you lay that on top and just let the fringed edges blend, then that's kind of the trick to blending, is letting the fringed edges blend together. Don't go so crazy that your pelt just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, because it'll just be too much to manage when you put it on. So I'm going to stab this a little bit to get it settled in here. I see a big bald spot, so I'm going to stick that there.
Trying to be discreet.
Are you smelling your armpits? What are you doing over there?
No, just a little itch.
And then I'm going to use the punch tool to really get this felted down. Milo, I'm a little chilly. Are you warm enough?
I'm good. I'm in fur.
Okay. So I'm going to take that off. Just lay it on the back of the pony. And I try to come over the shoulders. Don't worry too much about the neck. We're going to do another piece for that. And I start by just getting it centered. and stabbing it to make sure it stays where it's supposed to be. Like that. And then just take your time and you can kind of pull this apart and let some of it go on the belly and then some of it go onto the leg. I really enjoy this part, and I try to take my time and sort of sculpt the pelt into place where it needs to be. So I'm going to just spend a couple minutes doing that and come back. So I took my time and I just felted the pelt around the belly. I went around you know, the butt cheeks that we made and got that all incorporated, and it just went over the shoulders here. We're going to do a separate piece for the neck, but we have to do that next time. And then I'm going to do a little transitional color on the upper legs between the gray and the white. So, but yeah, I feel like we got a good little pony body going on here. Yeah. All right, I think that's it for today. Yeah.
I'm exhausted.
You seem a little tired, little guy. All right, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.